Hello, and welcome to another edition of Long Beach Treasures. I'm your host, Harvey Keller. Today we're in Bixby Park for the dedication of the refurbished Bandshell, and joining me with her expertise is our Historic Preservation Officer for the City of Long Beach, Jan Ostachet. Jan, thanks for joining me.
My pleasure.
Now, you know, I've heard two different dates, 1923 and 1927 when this was built. Which is accurate?
Well, we've got plans on file that date from March to 1927. So, and as far as the studies that we've had done, it indicates that it was built in 1927. Actually, and completed at the end of 1927.
And then a very famous speaker spoke here in 1928, I believe?
Right. He came, Herbert Hoover, presidential candidate at the time, he came to speak here. This was a place where they held a lot of state picnics. Iowa by the Sea, as Long Beach was called, Indiana, Nebraska, Colorado, and the like. Held their state picnics here. And so he came when Iowa was holding their state picnic, and he is from Iowa. He was from Iowa, so he thought this would be a good platform to come and speak about being from the Midwest, being progressive, and getting a lot of constituents on his side, and then the rest is history.
You know, I had read somewhere where sometimes upwards of 50,000 people would attend the picnics, and I just can't imagine where they would put that many people in this park.
I haven't actually come across any specific numbers, but I do know it was in the thousands and thousands. I've seen up to past 10,000, 10,000, so.
What's the style of architecture?
It's a Spanish colonial revival. The stucco sheathing on the outside, the red clay tile roof, is very indicative of the style. The post and beam, the trellis work on either side of the main platform there, very Spanish colonial revival.
Now, the trellises were added when they reconstructed this. That is part of the original design, though?
It is. On the original plans, the Parks and Recreation Department, when they restored this building, they used the original plans that showed the trellises on either side, the clay tile roof, the arched opening in the center. Pretty much what you see here is what they did and to restore it and bring it back to the life of 1927.
The stage looks like it's been expanded, has it?
The stage was expanded, and when you go up on the platform, you can actually still see the outline of the original stage, but it was expanded in the 1950s, along with a little restroom put onto the back of the structure, which is no longer there, because again, they wanted to bring it back to 1927, so they removed that addition.
And that's where the little shop used to be, where they made, what kind of little...
Well, there's a little room still back there.
Yeah, but there used to be a gal that had throwing clay pots.
Ah, possibly. Now, the other thing that was added, too, is on the far south side, there's an ADA ramp, so that was added for accessibility purposes.
Okay, now this was damaged in 2005 during a rain and windstorm, and a ficus fell on it.
Right.
Okay, from 2005, and here we are in 2008. Well, what took so long?
Well, what happened was that the Parks and Recreation Department had to apply for some funds. Where were they going to get the money to restore the building from? And they decided, since it was wind damage, that they could go through the state to FEMA, the Federal Emergency Management Agency, and ask for some funds from them. That isn't always necessarily a quick response in getting your money, so they had to do environmental clearance, they had to wait for approvals through the state, through FEMA, and eventually then they were able to granted the money. Now, one of the environmental assessments that they had to do was a historic assessment report on the structure to see if it was historically significant, because the building actually isn't currently listed on our local Long Beach register as a landmark, and it's not on the National Register, and it's not on the California Register. So we had to have it assessed for historic significance, and the report came back saying that it was eligible for a National Register designation for its historical association with the Iowa picnics, the other state picnics, and Herbert Hoover as well. Not necessarily surprisingly because of its architecture.
So were there funds available since, historic funds available since it is eligible for the National Registry?
It has to be designated. And then depending on the level that it gets designated at, there are more funds available for it, for restoration, for reuse, so on and so forth. So, but the funds really that the park used were federal funds because of the natural disaster that happened.
And when this was first built, it was primarily for a speaker's platform?
Yes, the building plans actually say, which was done by an engineer, by the city engineer at the time, and it said speaker's platform.
Sounds like the old Spit and Argue Club that used to be down at the Pike.
Pretty close, pretty close. Anybody could come up here and, you know, say what they wanted to say. At one time, the municipal band would play here, and they actually fit back then, and now currently they don't fit, so they have to play elsewhere in the park. But a lot of things were going on here at the Bandshell, and elsewhere throughout the park.
I was hoping the municipal band was going to be able to play here this summer, but it doesn't hold all the members of the band?
No, we all were, but no, the band is so huge, and they've got, you know, their amplification systems and all that. I don't think they will be able to, but maybe, and I'm not really sure because I'm not with the Parks and Rec Department, but maybe they'll do something special where they'll take a little jazz trio or something and do it here. I'm not sure, but that would be a nice little treat for this park.
I hope it's used because it's, you know, it's really a neat little place, and you know, here in Bixby Park, there's a lot of activity going on, and I hope they do something with it.
Well, we've got Bard in the Yard, you know, that goes on, and they used to do productions up in Big Rec Park.
This would be
perfect.
They do
perfect for it. You know, they go down to Queen Mary and hold their productions down there, and there's other types of small little production companies that could come and use it during the summertime and elsewhere.
Looks like they're having quite a program here today. I see all kinds of different organizations being represented, some old cars, and I guess they're going to do it upright.
Well, what I understand is that Suja will be coming, and big celebration to kind of re-grand opening of the Bandshell here, and so the neighborhood groups, the neighborhood associations, the business associations up and down Broadway have all been invited to come and put out booths and kind of promote their wares here, and celebrate the special occasion here, because it's been a long time awaiting. So.
Well, I'm so glad that they finally finished it off, because I walk my dog by all the time and I see this, and then I'm thinking, when's it going to happen? The fence was up forever, and I would see a little progress being made, and then a little more progress, and now the fence is down, and it's...
I agree. They've planted grass, and so the grass will, by summertime, will be up and, you know, full, so you can actually walk on it. It's beautiful now, and it'll even be grander in the summertime.
Tell me, how do you like being Historic Preservation Officer?
I love it. I live here in the city. I've lived here for about 25 years and know the city pretty well, and this is my passion and my life, and I enjoy it. It's challenging, interesting, and hopefully helping to make a difference here in the city.
You know, I think we met many, many years ago when I was with Long Beach Heritage.
That's right.
And I think you were with Long Beach Heritage also, but
You've
gone up and I've gone down.
Oh, no, I wouldn't say that.
Jan, I want to thank you for joining me, because
it's my pleasure.
I knew you would be my expert here on the shell and everything else that's historic in the city of Long Beach. So thank you for joining me, and don't go away. We'll be right back with more Long Beach treasures.
gentlemen, we have a problem.
What is it, boss?
Well, what's wrong? Susie Wong, kid detective. In the last month, she has shut down half of our operations. And now her brother Tommy Wong is working on the X21 Super Go-Kart.
Hey, what a great projector.
Where'd you get it, boss?
Avid Electronics.
Great for the big game.
I'll bring the sake.
Shut up, you fools. We must stop Susie Wong.
Avid rents video projectors for business and other occasions.
Founded in 1976, Polly's Gourmet Coffee is Southern California's most complete gourmet coffee store. Polly's has the best tasting coffee, freshly roasted every day right in the store, plus a wide selection of teas, an in-house bakery, espresso bar, patio dining, and more. We also offer Wi-Fi, free internet access for all of our customers. Our nationwide clientele agree, when it comes to coffee, there's only one name to remember, Polly's. 4606 East 2nd Street, welcoming you into Belmont Shore.
The Port of Long Beach is one of the busiest in the country. In case of disaster, being prepared is our #1 concern. It's now up to us to be ready for an earthquake, or in the worst case, a terrorist attack. You'll need food and water for 5 to 7 days for your family as well as your pets. You'll need to prepare an emergency evacuation kit for you and your family. For more information, go to www.greaterlongbeachrc.org. Knowing what to do is your best protection, and it's your responsibility.
Food's great. I can see 11 TVs from where I'm sitting. Great atmosphere, good service. Excellent place to come watch a game.
Lots of good sports, great television.
Football, baseball, and HD down at Smooth Sports Grill.
There's actually a nightclub Friday nights and Saturday nights. Fantastic DJ. We love coming to Smooth. Great food. Got televisions everywhere. Nice place.
Welcome back to Long Beach Treasures. Now from the Bandshell to the Dog Beach, we're right back, and joining me is Justin Rudd, who was, well, he's a community activist and advocate, and you were a mover and shaker in getting this beach started, weren't you?
Yes, several years ago, I had the idea that I wanted to take my bulldog Rosie to the beach, and I knew that I couldn't because it was against the law. So what I did was I found in the Long Beach City Code a clause that said that dogs could be allowed on the beach for a special event. So what I did is I went to the special events office and filed for a permit to have a special event where we could have several 2 or 3 acres here in Belmont Shore where dogs could be off leash on a particular Sunday afternoon. And what we ended up doing is having it down at by Cherry Avenue the first afternoon, and we did it there for 4 hours. We had about 500 dogs show up, and for over consecutive months I would have these same special events that would allow dogs to be off leash for a summer. We did it for 21 consecutive months, and then after that we said to the city we wanted to put together a pilot program that we could demonstrate that it could work here in Belmont Shore, and it did. And today we have 3 acres of off-leash area where the dogs can come and have some fun in the water and here on the sand.
Did you find a lot of opposition when you first proposed this?
I think there are people who are leery when you're trying anything new for the first time. People were concerned about dog poop being left behind, or dog bites, or dogs crossing the bike path. But I think once you prove it to them, and that's why we did the special events, that's why we did the pilot program, that it can happen and that it does work and that it's highly popular. This dog beach during the summer months when it's warm outside on a weekend, they're going to have about 100 dogs at a time here on the dog beach. So that's thousands or maybe 2,000 dogs that will come in and out on any one Saturday or Sunday. So it's obviously very popular. It's the most popular place here on the entire 4 miles of Pacific coastline.
You know, this is so much nicer than the dog park up there in Recreation Park, because at least it's cleaner here, and I don't know, it's more open and free.
I think the dog park at Recreation Dog Park on 7th serves a purpose, you know, for people that want to go in a place where it's fenced in, and it is fortunately another place that dogs can be off leash in the city. But this dog beach here is the only dog beach in all of Los Angeles County. So with the, I don't know, 10 or 11 million people that live in Los Angeles County, this is the only place at the beach where they can legally come to. It is not fenced in. It's simply orange cones that surround the perimeter of the dog beach here. So the dogs, But they do. Dogs are pack animals. They like to stay together and play together, run around, chase balls, chase frisbees.
What are the restrictions?
Well, it's pretty simple. No aggressive dogs. You can have one dog per adult. Here at the dog beach, there's no human food or pet food allowed in the dog beach. They're not allowed. The dogs must have a collar and a tag from the Long Beach Animal Control or from wherever they're coming from. So if they're coming from Los Angeles, they have to have a tag from LA Animal Control.
Is it open 24/7?
The dog beach is open 6 a.m. to 8 p.m. So almost 24/7. Almost, it's daylight hours basically, and it's right here between Argonne and Roycroft Avenues. It's in Belmont Shore. It is 3 acres.
Now, have they had many problems here at the dog beach?
I think as with any off-leash area or with any dogs you put together, there's going to be dog fights that happen from time to time. And yes, there have been some dog fights here. And I think it would be smart for someone to come here and be aware that that's going to happen anytime you have dogs together. But as a general rule, it's a fun place to come to bring your dogs off leash, whether it's a little dog or a big dog. There's all breeds, all sizes, and they're all having a good time here in Long Beach.
It's fun to watch them run in the water and chase each other, and it's just so free and open down here.
And you've got to remember that there are a lot of dogs that come here for the very first time they're coming to the beach, and it's a new experience for them, new sights, new smells, new texture in the sand, and then getting in the water. And it's to watch them run around in circles and play like that, that makes me smile, and I see the smiles on these dogs' faces when they're doing it.
The German Shepherd is my dog, and when we first came down here, she wouldn't go in the water, but now she loves the water.
I think a lot of dogs, or many dogs, can be leery to come into the water because they're hearing the loud sounds. A dog's ears are very sensitive to sound, and obviously a dog's nose is very sensitive to smell. And so it's a lot of stimulus in this at one time. They get used to it, and the thing is, you know, with shepherds or with retrievers, they go right in there and chasing after those balls.
You know, because of the success of this park, have there been any other dog beaches that have been opened up within the area?
No, not recently. Los Angeles has tried, the South Bay has tried to put a dog beach in the flight path at Dockweiler Beach. What is that? Pacific Palisades has tried to put a dog beach there. Santa Monica has tried, and they've tried for years and years, and it just has not worked. What was fortunate for us is that we're dealing mostly with the city of Long Beach, because this is a city-run beach. It's run by the Long Beach Parks, Recreation, and Marine. And so we don't have to go through county government like those other beaches do.
Well, being an advocate, you're just going to have to go up to these areas and show them how it's done.
Well, I guess so. And I think it also helps that, you know, for me being a dog advocate here in Long Beach, you know, with the Hot Dog Easter Parade, the Hot Dog Halloween Parade, the Bulldog Beauty Contest, it helps that there was somebody pushing the cause along that was a familiar face, and people knew who I was and what I was doing. You know, I also happen to organize the beach cleanup that happens down here on the third Saturday every month. And I've been doing that well before the dog beach was ever here, and so I think that track record also speaks highly for us.
How many do you get on the beach cleanup usually?
We just did a beach cleanup this past weekend. We had right at 300 volunteers, so anywhere 200 to 300 volunteers show up.
That's quite a few.
Yeah, it's every third Saturday of each month, rain or shine. We have bags, gloves, refreshments, door prizes. Free parking.
Just down here in Belmont Shore?
We always be in Belmont Shore. It's right next to the dog beach. We meet at the end of Granada Avenue. So the address is 1 Granada Avenue. And we have all ages that come down to the beach cleanup. I mean, from little kids to older adults. We had a woman celebrating her 89th birthday at the beach cleanup this past Saturday. Yeah.
That's tremendous. How do you come up with all of these things?
You know, these are all things that I enjoy doing. I think that a need there are needs for them in the community. Like just this last weekend, we did the mom prom, we do the father-daughter dance. I happen to do 38 events a year, but they're all events that I would love to go to or love to be involved with that weren't happening, and I just said to myself, I want this to happen. I'm making it happen. I choose to do it. I made it happen.
Now, are these profit or non-profit events?
All of this is run through my nonprofit organization called the Community Action Team. They can check out my website, justinrudd.com, for all the details.
Well, Justin, I want to thank you for joining me, and I want to thank you for initiating this dog beach, because it's a tremendous success, and you know, they just really enjoy it, and I'm so pleased that you had the fortitude to do it, and I'm glad the City Council approved, and I want to thank you for joining me.
You're
and
welcome.
That's our show for this time. Be sure and come back next time as we take another walk through history and uncover more Long Beach treasures.